Hey, I'm Ryan Cruz, and this is Get Your Mind Right. This is a continuing video to the negative impact of men having erectile dysfunction due to watching pornography, and how women are in these relationships and they're suffering, they're settling for something like this. So I was watching a video, and the guy had mentioned about, women settling with men. And he wasn't talking about this all the way, ED, but he mentioned it. He was saying, some women would stay with a man with ED just because she feels like, just because she feel like she knows him and that he's not gonna cheat. Now that is certified settling. That is so settling. It's like saying, oh, I know my boyfriend stink. I know ain't no other woman gonna want him, so I don't have to worry about that. I'm not gonna go upgrade. I'm gonna stay with him because I know for a fact this is like gonna be a faithful man due to his problems, due to his issues. Now he's gonna be faithful man because he chose to and he loves me, but for the fact of because he has erectile dysfunction. So back to me talking about my own issues and things like that. I will admit, so the guy that I was talking about in the last video, I had that somewhat mind frame with him. I'm not even going to lie about any of this. I said to myself, well, he already got these issues. He already think, all this stuff about him. He already does this self-depreciation type of stuff. So Ryan, you might as well just, stick around. I mean, you got somebody. It isn't like it's hard for me to get a man. No, that's never been the case. Yeah, I did kind of like this dude a little bit alive, right? I thought he had it going on. Yet, like I said, the more I got to know, I'm like, this dude is a hot mess. But oh well, he's still doing his thing. And like I said, I'm the one who's left with the trauma of dealing with someone with ED due to pornography. And like I didn't get a reward out of it. He doesn't send me a text or call every blue moon and say, "Hey, Bride, thanks a billion from when we was together and you dealt with me and my ED-ness. Thanks, babe. I said a good prayer for you." So, you don't get no rewards out of that, ladies. So some things I was coming across on the internet that I wanted to talk about. Some comments about people talking about pornography and ED. And one person, they was talking about this thing called the contrast effect. And so what the contrast effect is, it is if you compare one sexual experience with another, the more stimulating experience will make the less stimulating experience seem boring in comparison. So when men watch pornography and they're watching it very much consistently, they're comparing what this woman on TV and on the screen is doing and how she look with lighting, makeup, things of that nature, back to their girlfriend who may have a scar somewhere, who in the light, when she may have darkness in between her legs, or she may have a scar somewhere, or maybe when she shaves she has hair buffs or something left behind. And so this guy who's watching pornography is now coming to her, and she's just looking like, she's thinking she's beautiful, she's feeling confident, but really he's judging her based off of what he saw earlier on screen. And it also is messing with them with ED, not even just them comparing the woman to the person they see on screen, but also them comparing themselves to the men on screen, wondering why this guy could go blah, 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 and it's like he can't do those type of pumps, wondering why this guy can, why this on screen this guy's stuff is looking huge and his stuff is looking pretty like that, wondering why when women go give oral sex to the men on screen, is they're grabbing something big, and with him is hello. So that contrast effect is going on in these men's mind in two different ways. Him judging his spouse, but most of all, he's judging himself. And I want to say, to be honest, I really think out of 100%, which way the contrast effect is going, I think it's going more so of them judging themselves, to tell you the truth. Because in the pornography, those women, they're acting, they're doing a little thing, and then when they get with their girlfriend or their wife, and their wife is not doing that, I know that they're internalizing that. I know they're thinking that they're horrible in the bed. So a lot of that contrast effect, little do they know, it's turning around kicking their own self in the butt, because they're judging their own self based off of what that guy on the movie did. Some other comments they talked about, because people said, well, how about if you watch porn with your partner, right? And that's people, even some of the comments from the men, they were saying like, that sounds good, but that's not cool, because it still does it over time. So one person put, you get an unrealistic expectation of how attractive people will be and what they would do and what is normal as a reaction. That's something I didn't even think about. What is normal as a reaction? So, anal sex, right? On the screen, it may look like she's enjoying it. She's in heaven, eyes rolling to the back of her head, clenching the sheets, having a ball, right? But then when they really going to do it, the woman's screaming, she's getting up, beating them down, telling them, you done lost your mind, you're a freakazoid, I'm about to kick you out my house. That's the normal reaction. The other one isn't the normal reaction. People always make fun of the pizza guy is not going to come over and open the box and this ding dong is there and you get excited scenario. But it's more than that. I like this part. He says, it's how the women on there are basically receptive to anything. I'll repeat that again. It's how the women on there are basically receptive to anything because they're paid to be. Oh my God, that is like signed, sealed, delivered with like a beautiful bow on there. They just said that so well. Seriously. So I'm sure that when a real life woman is not into something, it's like, what? How can this be? Tying a dumper. That's crazy. That is so crazy. Even the more I'm reading about pornography, I'm like, ooh, that stuff really is not cool. Like some of the effects of it, I didn't think so much of it. I've always grew up hearing people saying, oh, you shouldn't watch porn. You're going to start wanting crazy stuff. But I never thought about the parts of someone getting confused of what a normal reaction to certain things would be and comparing my reaction to someone like this person said that's getting paid to do that. So that's really something I didn't even think too much about. And wow, that's really something to think about. So ladies, if you are in a relationship with a man who has to watch pornography, like I said, they created these receptors in their head. They got this feedback loop, dopamine. When they watch this pornography, when they masturbate to it, really question yourself, what are you getting out of that? What are you getting out of them having their addiction to porn? Are they actually taking the steps to go to therapy? Did they go out and find their own therapist, or did you have to find a therapist for them? Some of that stuff, it should not have to take a woman's influence for them to want to change. Some of that should really come from their own internal locus. You want to know why? Because like he just said earlier, you have the contrast effect, which is now impacting them on how they feel about themselves. If somebody cannot make that change from within to want to help themselves, especially with something like this, I'm not trying to be mean, but the one thing on earth that men want to walk around say they could do right, and this person can't, due to them watching overstimulate their mind with pornography, really? Don't do that to yourself. It's so many other wonderful men out here that got respect for their own bodies, that would not want to shame themselves, shame their girlfriends, their wives, by watching so much pornography that they are now addicted to it. They can't even keep a hard erection. It's a soft erection. Have you ever experienced a soft erection? Not fun. And like I'm going to repeat it to get it again, to get it in your brain. If you're a Christian woman, if you believe in, if you're Muslim, whatever your ethnicity, whatever your religious background, if you're not religious, the universe, God, Allah, Buddha, no one's going to give you an award for staying in a situation like this. These men are not saying to themselves, this woman loves me, she cares deeply about me, I need to make this effort to change because I want to keep satisfying her, I want to be there for her. None of them are saying that. They're saying this: if she goes away, okay, I'll just pay a maid to clean up. Okay, I'll just keep using my porn for sexual pleasures. That's what they're saying. That's really what they're sitting up there saying to themselves. I'm going to leave with this note. As many men are painfully discovering, real sex involves touching and being touched by another person, not simply touching a mouse and then yourself. Not touching the touchscreen and then yourself. So women, think about that. Think about it to this degree. You're not going to get a reward. Your boyfriend, your husband, your spouse is not sitting up there thanking the Lord, thanking the God, thanking whoever that they blessed them with this woman who's going to sit up there and settle for something like this. Settle for taking hours to have an orgasm. Settle for taking hours for this person to get excited. Settle for this person has to go in a room first to go watch pornography, then come back to have intercourse with me. You know how many men on this earth will satisfy you without having to watch porn? Too many of them. Do not belittle yourself. Do not shame yourself into doing that. Like I said earlier, I would even admit to me sitting up there saying, well, he got ED. I know he ain't gonna cheat. Please don't do nothing like that. That was a hot mess of me to treat myself like that. You know, and if I could be woman enough to sit up here and admit that honestly to you and really, really emphasize, don't do that to yourself. Luckily enough, I'm resilient and I didn't let that really impact me internally. But just think if I wasn't. Just think about all the women out there that's even younger in their early 20s. You know, don't do that. No. There are a lot of men that's not into porn. Trust me, I've met them. A lot of them are not. So I want to end this note with, you know, to love yourself and to protect yourself and to respect yourself, it sometimes means to walk away from people. I know people don't like use the word selfish, or you want to use the word self-preservation, but don't risk your mind, your body for another person who is not even thinking about themselves. Put you first. If you help yourself first, you create that boundary within you. You could give so much time and energy to other people. You could be Mother Teresa all you want to, but you first have to take care of you. Don't ever settle for a man who has erectile dysfunction due to masturbating to too much pornography. Have a good night.